What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from Data Dash, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's video, I want to spend some time to revisit one of the top projects in the broader metaverse narrative as well as AI within crypto and Web3. Today, we're talking about none other than Antix. And Antix is really meeting at a crossroads between two of these very fast-growing narratives and aiming to tackle a lot of high-growth vectors within the broader metaverse narrative, such as digital influencers as well as digital experiences. I want to talk about how Antix, from a technological standpoint, but also as well from an overreaching vision, is really well positioned to potentially take on this growing market. So we got a lot to unpack here in today's video. If you guys happen to enjoy it, consider dropping a like, and let's go ahead and kick things off. So I want to start here by just providing a little bit of context here. Antix as a project is not some white paper. They've been around for some time, especially the team members and the founder have been working in the industry for a long time. You can see that Antix as well has already been featured in a lot of big public displays. For example, here in Tokyo, Japan, on a major billboard, they've showcased some of their 3D animation, as well as in other areas of the world, like in Beijing, and also in Times Square in New York City. These demonstrations are really exciting examples of how Antix has not only had experience in this field, but worked with a lot of reputable names, which we'll dive into as we go throughout the conversation. But outside of that as well, I want to talk about the broader vision for Antix and its technology and how they really aim to be able to streamline this to everyone. That's the vision here. The vision of Antix is to really allow you to be at the forefront of creating some of these experiences and playing a role in it, as well as already established companies, influencers, and other different people out there. Now, if you're interested at all throughout the video and checking out Antix from an investment perspective, you guys can always check out the link down below in the description. I have a link where you guys will get a 5% bonus if you guys end up making an investment. I'm not here to tell you guys you need to do that. I just want to let you know that it is at a 50% discount from TGE. So if you end up liking the project, you might as well get in the earlier rounds right before it gets listed on a lot of the exchanges down the line. But that all being said, let's go ahead and spend some time to dive straight into the fundamentals and talk about the key technological offering that Antix is bringing to the table. The first thing we need to discuss is Avagen, and this is probably the biggest opportunity out of anything. Essentially, Avagen is focused on streamlining the development of AAA quality, high quality 3D models that essentially could be utilized for all types of purposes. It could be used to create a digital twin, so I could create a copy of myself, but I could also go out and create an entirely new character or content creator or influencer that could be utilized for advertising, for entertainment purposes, a whole range of different use cases. And we're seeing more and more how the use case for digital personas are essentially getting bigger and bigger, or this kind of idea of a twin model, essentially having a digital twin of yourself, being able to streamline a lot of what I do or add additional content on Data Dash and other platforms. So this market is fast growing, as we'll talk about in just a little bit. But essentially, you can see within the technology that Avagen already has a lot of great examples here that you can reference to just understand how hyper realistic a lot of these models are getting. And this really pairs in with a lot of the technology from Unreal Engine 5. I've been in game development for a long time. More than a decade ago, I used to mess around with Unreal Engine 3. And it's amazing to see the advancements in technology that have come about over the last couple of years, and essentially how that's going to allow for this entire new narrative or potential for digital creators, digital influencers, digital advertising that is much more custom tailored for the end user and could lead to higher conversion rates, lower cost or barrier to entry. There's a whole range of things we just can't even imagine that are going to be possible with this technology. So the big thing I wanted to kind of bring to the forefront here is an understanding of how big this market can get, right? We already know right now that depending on what metrics you're looking at, generally influencer marketing as a market is already pretty sizable, sitting around $24 billion. And that's up multiples from where it was back a couple years ago, more than nearly 10xing since back here in 2016 to 2017. So in less than a decade, this industry has grown into a titan for advertising, for entertainment, etc. There are different numbers and estimates out there for how big the influencer market is. But what we really need to focus on is the continued growth trajectory. Not only is influencer marketing set to continue growing, but it's predominantly set to grow in one particular area that used to be a niche, and that is the virtual influencer market, right? And this is exactly what we're getting to here. Now with the ability through increased computer graphics capabilities, fidelity, and along with that as well, AI, we now have the ability to build incredibly lifelike experiences. And that allows for entire companies to go out there and streamline featuring new product lines, reducing the dramatic upfront cost and barrier to getting new products and services out there. It allows for everyday individuals to go out and create these digital content creators or digital influencers. And I have to say, as someone myself who was a bit of a skeptic, even like a year or two ago, if you would have told me this, I probably wouldn't have believed it. And it would have made sense. The market was much smaller back then. But you can probably guess, if you look across your feed and really keep a sharp eye out, a lot of the content you might be seeing on X, on Instagram, on a whole range of different platforms out there, including Facebook and other social media, is AI generated. And it's growingly a larger portion of the overall social space. So this is important to understand here and the ramifications this is going to have. If you think about it though from Antix, Antix is building this protocol that essentially has all these software solutions, but it also comes with the blockchain component as well. So essentially you will be able to create NFT passports that essentially claim ownership and control over these digital creations. So whether or not you want to make certain types of cosmetic changes to your avatar. You want to be able to assign your NFT for certain different types of use cases, or be able eventually maybe one day to be able to list it on the market at a certain valuation. If you have created this revenue generating digital creation and you want to be able to sell it for some market value for someone else to buy it, you should be able to do that. And that's exactly what this whole concept of a sort of NFT passport is focused on. It's a really interesting concept. Again, it feels very far out. It feels very new, but this is something that is definitely going to be a reality here. We've already seen it in so many different formats. So this is definitely interesting to keep in mind. Outside of that as well, Antix is also focused on the narrative of, the metaverse, building these entire experiences, building new universes. And they do this, of course, through the use of the VERSEmaker. This is the second key component of their technology, and they're trying to feature it as best as possible through Between, which is going to be their metaverse project. This is going to be an entirely spaced out universe that allows you to not only utilize your own Avagen characters, but beyond that as well, to be able to experience a whole built out world that you can go out and explore. So again, there's a lot of details that I still want to learn more about the project. I want to see more videos and demos. I know that they probably got some coming down the pipeline, but versus what you find against most Web3 projects in crypto, this is pretty high quality. This is AAA fidelity, detailed universe building tools. So I'm really excited to see more of this as it comes out and learn a little bit more about where the project is going and how this first maybe real tailored experience for Avagen will help to propel its core technology, because I think the bigger opportunity here is digital influencers, digital creators. It goes beyond just gamers. But at the end of the day, this is also going to be a great first demo to be able to feature the technology potential. Now, there's also as well a global client base that Antix has already serviced. So again, as I emphasized earlier, this project didn't pop up overnight. The team has been working with a lot of major name brands, from Porsche to Warner Brothers, Game of Thrones, and HBO Entertainment, as well as Tencent, PUBG Mobile. There's a whole range of leading names that they've already worked with here on a whole range of different projects. So the team comes from a background of individuals who've worked on some very large projects. They're well experienced. They know the pain points of a lot of these companies and a lot of these different verticals. So I think it positions them quite well to be able to succeed in building what is a very big undertaking here, trying to build the framework for digital content creation and being able to build these different influencers and content creators to the likes of which where they'll be equal or on par, if not better, than someone like myself or another influencer on Instagram who promotes fashion products, or someone out there who might be focused in another core niche. There's a lot of exciting potential here. So if you want to dive into some of the examples, you're welcome to go through the website where they showcase some things around animation, AAA cinematics, environment, 3D, 2D art, digital wear as well. So all of this kind of plays into the key vision of Antix. Now I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the key issues here, because I understand some people might be optimistic about, this vision of digital creators. Some might be more skeptical of it as well, right? But the big thing above all is we have to understand from a broader market potential, how big could this get? And when we understand some of the key issues, it really all starts to come together. First off, we need to talk about users. When it comes to users on Web2 platforms, The problem is that, when I'm on Instagram or I'm on YouTube, I'm getting the same video or experience that everyone else is getting, right? And that's fine, if I like that individual. But let's say, for example, if you came here to the Data Dash YouTube channel and you wanted to be able to hear my analysis, right, on a variety of altcoins that are in your portfolio, what would I say about those positions, right? Essentially, right now, you're limited from that. But in the future, with AI, you'll be able to essentially have something that looks like a digital twin like me that could go through and take a look into the particular altcoins that you want, that could be trained on data from my prior videos. What do I usually look for within terms of price action? What do I look for in terms of fundamentals, right? How would I distribute my portfolio, and where could I provide that ability to give some kind of maybe guidance or at least some idea of what you could do, right? So that's a great example kind of in the context of me as a creator, but it's more likely to be being able to build custom experiences where you could speak with your favorite influencer. You'd be able to speak with your favorite content creator. Outside of that as well, there are also companies as well. And this is a really big vector here. I would say probably the biggest, because the influencer market, as it's growing bigger and bigger, so is the cost basis to getting out your products and services out to an audience of people. And I have to say, as we're seeing in software engineering and practically every field of creative work, you are going to see this likely be automated. So it's going to give the ability for anywhere from startups to large corporations to be able to get this content out to people in a way that is going to be more cost effective, more accessible, and be able to really streamline that entire process. And last but not least, of course, influencers. Now, obviously, influencers are always going to be a part of the equation and will not entirely automate all influencers. AI influencers are definitely very competitive in many ways, but at the same time, you're always going to probably have real human experiences as well. So one of the best things about this is that it's not entirely competitive in the sense that you can utilize this to streamline a lot of the entire process. I can tell you guys from creating content on YouTube, sometimes it gets tiring, right? And being able to have something that you can give as an extra addition to your audience, new experiences, being able to automate some of the content production that's based around you as an individual, right? And customized and tailored for you. I think that that is really interesting as well. So these are some of the key issues that are aiming to be solved here. And you can start to think about how these could be utilized in a lot of different applications. For example, I think the biggest thing above all is for companies being able to, again, promote a wide range of different products and services. This is really, I think, the big dynamic here. I know some people are focused on other things. I think another area as well is really being able to have really creative experiences. There was a really cool interview that Roman Siganov, who's the CEO of Antix, he did an interview with the Blockhash podcast, and he was talking a little bit about this in regards to how like the Web 2 media format is right now, where we're all watching a Netflix series or some kind of movie, and it's the same for everyone, right? But as we hinted earlier, having that ability to have custom experiences where maybe the core storyline is there, but you're able to make instinctual decisions as the viewer, or maybe you, for example, have a character in that story that you kind of control and make decisions around, and it can impact the broader story of things. I think that is really exciting. There's, again, a lot of different formats that are going to be interesting to explore with the potential of AI. But I think the more predictable one, if we're thinking more conservatively, is going to be in that format of advertising and just having a stake in the broader influencer market, which is just growing bigger and bigger. And that already is a multi-billion-dollar industry as a whole. So these are definitely really interesting things. There's a lot of different things as well that Antix posts on X if you guys want to follow them and just learn a little bit about what the market is, what kind of different experiences they can offer. They're focused also on holographic technology as well, which plays very big into digital creators, right? Because if we're thinking about it, from new formats beyond just a 2D screen, photos and videos, being able to go into 3D experiences is going to be very exciting. So they've worked with Rockford Zellerix in this case to work on holographic screen production. They have some demos of it on their Twitter. We also covered it in the prior video we did. But I think above all, this is definitely a really interesting front. We've already started to see some 3D concert performances with 3D or holographic models, but I think that this is going to be a very interesting market going forward. And they've also been getting featured in a lot of different major crypto outlets as well, like CoinGape. So definitely check out some of the additional resources if you guys are interested. But above all, I just want to bring it back to center here, which is that it's exciting to see that we could be really getting AAA quality projects within the broader crypto crypto and Web3 space focused on these really exciting narratives, because I think there really is a space for Web3 here when we're talking about these agents, right? We've constantly heard people talk about AI agents as a narrative. This is where I think it actually makes sense. Like, we've seen that people want to interact with AI agents, right? We see that there's a clear demand for these different characters, speaking with them, interacting with them, seeing what products are getting featured as well through these AI agents. And because of that, I think it's very important to keep it on your radar at a bare minimum here. So above all, Antix is doing some exciting stuff. I do have also some questions about, wanting to learn more about the technology stack, seeing the SDK, some of those things that would really kind of solidify my optimism around the project. But beyond that, I think overall for an early stage project, it's definitely one of the more promising ones in the space. If you guys are interested, you can always check out the link down below in the description for their upcoming sale. They're currently on stage 5 here. This is going to allow you to get the token at a 50% discount. It's only going on for a couple more days, essentially at 7 cents versus the TGE price, which is going to be 14 cents. Again, at the end of the day, you guys will have to make the decision for yourself. I wouldn't go all into it or anything like that, as I wouldn't with any early stage project. But if you want to build a small position, if you like the vision of it and you've done your own due diligence on it, then you can of course always do that. And you'll get a 5% bonus if you use my link down below in the description. And if you end up wanting to invest in the project, it's really simple to do so. All you have to do is connect your wallet. In this case, I'm using MetaMask. I'm going to go ahead, click connect, confirm. And from there, we want to choose the network where we're going to be making an investment from. In this case, I'll use BNB chain. You can click buy now. And then from there, we're going to choose our currency of choice. I'm going to use USDT, click max, and then approve deposit. From there, we're just going to go ahead, confirm the increase in the spending cap. Click deposit now. And click confirm. And from there, we should be able to see the balance increase within our Antix token page. And there we go. There's the updated balance. So if you guys are interested to learn more, check out the link down below in the description. Do your own due diligence, take a look at the project. But until the next video, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all right back here in the next video. Take care, everyone.